You want to take your game to the next level? You want to be a world champion? Take the fighter training stack. Victor Conte's fighter training stack has brought me to the next level. Everything that I take on a daily basis. The fighter training stack is the best thing out right now. Devin Haney, I'm Snack Strong. Get it now, right now.
Nonito, fourth round knockout, man, to the body. Just overall, your impressions of how the fight played out for those 4 rounds, and then if you could set up the knockout for us.
Well, first, I expected a different fight from him. We worked on a counter left hook. He was trying to nullify that left hook by stepping back and throwing a straight right down the middle. So what I planned to do was different. So I had to kind of feel him out a little bit. My wife was always in the back, which my head trainer is, was in the back. He's reaching in. Use your legs. Feint here and there until he reach in, and then you can get him with counters and stuff like that. And then my dad was also saying to go to the body, and she was also saying to go to the body. And I see it. I saw it. So with my wife and my dad's tandem of the strategy that we worked on, which is to set up, to move around, to give him a different look, and then to counter over the head. And then, of course, the body was given with the left hook. But then early on, I kept trying to tag him to the right, because I knew he would go over, and I would come into the left and give him to the right, so he would miss the hook, and I would catch him in the left. And that paid off a little bit until the left hook, which he didn't expect, he was covering his head, and then it went to the body.
He's usually a hyper-aggressive fighter, and just talking with everybody here, we felt that your power really made him think twice about being aggressive. And did you notice like a change in his body language after you connected a few solid shots in that first round?
He was powerful too. He was strong. I didn't expect him to be that strong, or he tried to just sit down and try to brawl with me. That was not in my expectation. And of course, my power was when I felt like I needed to go there, because he was showing what he was throwing. And so I was able to block a lot of it, like with the straight. I knew it was coming, and I would just block it. But I knew it was coming, and then, until I could time it. But he fought a different fight. I thought he fought a great fight. But, our strategy was better.
When you look at the future, Nonito, where do you want to go from here in terms of your division? Because I also saw a thing that you're thinking about maybe moving down a division with fights with Roman and Gallo Estrada.
Well, my future would be 1 belt, 2 belt, 3 belt, 4 belts. And of course, the person that makes it happen would be Richard.
So that would be
that's the priority.
Well, we're going to have to see now what the WBO is going to rule, if the title is going to become vacant, if there's a way we can fight for the vacant title and unify those 2 belts. Mr. Honda is here. Inoue is a promoter. I had conversations with him before and tonight again. So that's a possibility. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. But I just want to quickly add something else. There were like thousands of fans of yours here in attendance, and everybody was screaming and yelling. And when you guys are going to rewatch the telecast, you're going to hear 2 little voices, but those 2 little voices were the loudest voices, really the only voices I've heard, and they kept yelling, "Body shot,
yes.
Body shot,
yes.
body
yes.
shot."
I heard that,
and
too.
that was his kids.
That was my kids. My son. I remember. That's what they kept saying.
Yeah.
Body shot,
Yeah.
body shot, and I heard it.
Those.
And I heard that.
And
I'm like,
across from them.
Right,
and
right.
I heard them.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember. I'm like, I don't know if I should get my kids in here, and I'm like, I hear body shot, come on, Papa, body shot, boom. So I got to give it. I'm not gonna give it to my wife or my dad. I'm gonna give it to my kids this time.
Yes, exactly.
So the undisputed is going to trump a move down to get maybe fights with Chocolatito or Estrada?
I mean, that's definitely what my ultimate goal. But again, there's things that happen in that we can't foresee. That's Richard's job to make things happen for me.
Yeah, you have the COVID situation in Japan as well. We have to see how that plays out. As I said, we have to see how the WBO situation plays out. But I think there's some great challenges at 115, which Nonito said is a division, he'd like to conquer as well. So there are opportunities there, but there are opportunities at 122 as well. So there's a lot of fights which can be made. And I think if you look between 126 and 115, he is the star, he is the biggest name in the sport, he is the legend. And I think what I like to add as well, and you guys know my opinion on that, I think Nonito, with everything he has achieved in his career, but particularly what he has achieved in his last couple of years, where he took down everyone, he really belongs as much in the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters as Inoue does, because I think if you look at his overall resume, it's there, or in my opinion, it's actually better. So I do believe there's a strong case to be made after that performance tonight, beating an undefeated, hungry, 14-year younger opponent who came to fight, that Nonito Donaire belongs again. He was there before, but he belongs again at age 39 in the top 10 pound for pound.
Nonito, this is your second fourth-round KO in a row. I want to say in the same building too, right? We're going to want to fight anywhere else?
Hey, that's what they said. You know, every time I come in here, welcome home, champ. You know, this is what Carson has always been for me. They've always been great to me, and I've always won a lot of fights out here, and they've always been taking care of me. So, you know, home is a home, and I'm always welcome here.
I heard Sergio Mora tweet earlier this week something about you guys coming, I don't know if it was out of the Olympics or something. Basically, like you guys were. You've been in the game for a long time and giving you a lot of respect from that. Do you feel that from the boxing community still?
Definitely. I mean, I come into a place and you know, everybody knows who I am, especially in the boxing world, you know, and they've always given me respect from the biggest guys to the smallest guys, you know, to the most well popular guys to not, you know, they've always given me respect. So I know I made that possible.
I got two for you, Nonito. One, obviously, if you're mentioning it, you feel you can make the weight, but how difficult would it be, in your opinion, to go to 115?
Did I tell you? Did I tell you
Yes,
yesterday?
you told
Yeah,
me,
I was
yeah.
116 yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why I had to go up and drink.
You had to drink some
Yeah.
water.
So you know, that's not the first time I went to 116. So I know that I can make it happen with you know, it's not a problem.
Nonito, I know you have a lot of options, but this fight was televised in Japan, and Inoue Donaire rematch is a big fight in Japan.
That would be great.
And yeah, I asked this question many times, but you don't mind to go to Japan to actually fight him?
Well, you know, I went there once, and I can do it again. You know, again, that's Richard's point of view to make. You know, I will fight anybody's backyard.
Donaire, Richard was mentioning possibly going to 122. The champions are Stephen Fulton and MJ.
Bring it on.
Do you have any opinions on how Fulton looked in his previous fight? Have you seen it?
I mean, I saw it and it was a rough fight, you know. But my focus right now is the 118, and that's pretty much where I you know, I don't want to spread myself too thin like I did in the past, you know. So, but yeah, I'm ready for everybody.
Nonito, how does it feel to be at this point in your career, not only as well respected as you are in the boxing community, but kind of even the way it plays out stylistically in fights? Like right now, we just saw you take on a 14-year younger challenger.
Age ain't nothing but a number, bro.
And I feel like in the end, it came down to a case of a good young fighter just losing to a great old fighter. Is that a surreal feeling that you feel you get more often in the ring now?
No, you know, it's I don't ever look at the weight or the age. You know, I've always, I mean, the guys I'm sparring right now, they're younger than me, and you know, I'm doing a pretty good job with them, and they're a tremendous fighter. They do a good job with me. I don't see any age. I mean, if I crack you with one punch and it's gonna hit, I don't care if I'm 50 years old. You going down.
What did you say to Reymart after the fight? I saw you had a moment with him.
I just told him. I told him, don't be disappointed. Don't be disappointed. You did a great job. You're gonna be a champion, and whatever I can do to help, I will help you. I promise you that.
Do you see some of yourself in him now that you've spent the past week with him? And
I did. I do. You know, I was that little shy kid. You know, just very innocent and just very shy. You know, but when I came in here, I was hungry. You know, I saw a little bit of that when we were in the press conference. Just a really nice kid. You know, and I was like that.
Rachel,
Before I met her, she tainted me.
I wanted to get your assessment of how Nonito looked tonight.
Well, I think in the first couple of rounds, I think your cape had fallen off way too soon. He was a little bit cold. It took a while, and I knew it was going to take a little bit more to bring him out. As far as when we saw Gaballo actually starting to throw way off of his feet, he was missing, and that's what we wanted. I think with him being young, he was trigger happy, wanted to get those big shots off, but just little feints was getting him to throw combinations when he wasn't standing there anymore. We had worked the body a lot, sparring with Tomoki Kameda and Angela Leo, and that was something that, if you were a fly on the wall in that gym, it was amazing sparring. And he lit up the body when we were sparring. So the game plan, there were certain things that weren't working that we thought was going to work.
Yeah.
Gaballo's corner really did a good job in innovating his left hook. But that wasn't what we were really focusing on. We were really focusing on the body shots.
Yes, we did.
Do
We
you,
did. We
do you
worked
like
on
the
that.
idea of the move down to 115 at this stage in Nonito's career?
I mean, I think that he can do it. I've seen it. Again, he weighed in at, he didn't weigh in at 117.9 or 118 on the dot. He weighed in at 117.2, and he was at 116 and then rehydrated. And he did that with the Inoue fight. So 1 pound, the way that he's healthy and the way that he cuts weight during fight week is the smartest way. I don't mess with it. He's done it for how many years, and I keep complete hands off of that side.
Question for both of you then. Do you guys feel that he's just too big, too strong for the guys at 115? And if he were to match up with a Roman or a Gallo or a Rungvisai, that your natural advantages would be too much for them when you match up with them?
Well,
I mean,
first, I
I'm
don't think
kind
it's
of-
a natural. Well, first, let me just put this out there. I don't think that we're doing it because of a natural advantage. We're doing it because that was a division that he could not get that 115 title in. So we're not doing it for any other type of advantage for that. This is just for his legacy. That's what we're after now.
Nonito, you proved that there's still plenty left in the tank tonight. Is the main goal, the Inoue fight, or
The main
these
goal.
other options that?
The main goal is definitely getting all the belts right here, and whoever stands in that way, with Richard's genius in making the fight happen, that's the goal, is becoming undisputed champion of the world.
And I think what is important as well at this point, he has achieved so much. I mean, there's nothing. He's a sure shot first ballot Hall of Famer. So he's a 9-time world champion, 4 different weight classes. So 39 years old. So I think what we want to do as well, we want to go and do where he can make the most money as well. So let's so we're going to be open. We want to get the biggest challenges. We want to unify. That's clearly the goal. That's what he told me. But at the same time, if somebody offers us a big amount of money to go to 115 or 122, and it's a challenge Nonito likes, then we're certainly going to look at that. So we're very open-minded, with the first goal being the unification. And again, I had very productive conversations with Mr. Honda. I don't believe there's going to be an issue to get that fight done in Japan. They welcomed Nonito very warmly. He has a lot of fans in Japan. But again, it's going to come down to the financial aspects of that fight and if it makes sense for us.
What's different the second time around, you guys feel, with the Inoue fight?
You or me?
Well, the first thing is, I fought differently. I think it knocked some good senses in me that now I'm using a lot of strategy. I'm not just the kind of guy who goes out there and just guns and blazing. I'm actually going back into the old me where I'm all about strategy, and that's one thing with her, is that we create a strategy for her looking at foot placement, and that's what she kept trying to tell me, nullify his foot, square him up and this and that, and then I would look up the upper body and counter. So our tandem is really great, and that's something that I didn't have in the fight with Inoue, and I think that's something that this time around will be the biggest key factor of defeating Inoue.
And just a quick question on the possibility of the Casimero fight. I know there's been some complications in the past. Is that fight possible? I know that,
Well, for me, it's mainly for me is somebody who holds that belt. Whoever holds that belt is who I'm fighting, and if he puts himself in that position, then yes, and again, the person to make that happen, of course, it would be Richard Schaefer. I've never ducked anyone, and I will never be that person. I will fight, and I will have my goal of having 4 belts right here in front of you guys.
Nonito, what happens if you do become undisputed, after?
Well, that's something that I haven't been yet, so therefore it's just another thing to think about. I mean, this camp was just tremendous for us. I mean, it had a lot of balls thrown at us, right?
Yeah, this camp was not an easy camp, and he never makes anything easy for me. So
Never.
that's not anything new. But Richard, this is the first time, so you might want to capture his reaction. But during camp, Nonito lost his tooth, his
Last
front
both-
tooth.
I was just biting on something and it came off.
And it broke.
Yes.
So that's one. So, and we were like in between like sparrings and stuff. It wasn't at sparring, but I had to find a dentist that was going to do it within 24 hours of temp and then get his permanent within 2 weeks because we were afraid of the mouthpiece. So
Yeah, the mouthpiece issue was the biggest thing.
watch for that footage because that's
Yeah.
going to be fun to see him without a tooth.
And then
And then there was a COVID outbreak at the gym, and he got COVID. And within 3 days, he burned it. We tested, 8 times.
yeah, and we test everybody too in the gym.
We test ever since
Everybody.
then.
Ever
we
since then, we
tested
test everybody who comes in.
everybody in the gym.
So, but
we
that was one
partnered
of our
with,
things.
With Clear Health Pass.
Yes, we're
It's down there.
There, this
we
guy.
partnered with Clear Health Pass because they're actually bringing an affordable at-home testing that is not, you don't have to use anything up your nose. Because
lollipop.
of these things, what we did in our camp after that exposure, him having to get testing positive on a consistent basis, we started questioning everybody that came in that gym, and we already had a closed gym. But when it came to the guys that he was sparring, because that's where you would get it, is the guys that are sparring.
So we test everybody.
We tested our
After
sparring
that,
partners
yeah.
every single time that they sparred, and that was the best way to catch COVID is because of the 3 to 4 days in between the testing twice a week.
There you go. So we have a lot of obstacles going into this fight, but we made it happen. Nothing takes us down.
Nonito, did you feel different in the ring just after having COVID? Did you feel any effects?
Honestly, yeah, I did feel a little bit. It's like coming out from being sick. You don't just get your lungs going, but it didn't take long. It took about a day or two sparring, and was back to normal. So, I'm blessed with the health that I have. Just being healthy, eating healthy, that it didn't really affect me. I know other people, it took them a long time to recover, but because this is my second time, or having it. So, I'm just blessed that I'm always healthy. And of course, other people don't have that ability to just take and burn the thing out of your system. But I did, and I did it twice. The first one was 3 days. Both of them were 3 days. That I got it out of my system. But again, everybody's not the same. Everybody's different in the way they are. But just being healthy is the key.
That's his tooth.
The tooth is good.
Permanent.
It's permanent now. This one right here, the one to the right.
The ones who look new and shiny.
Yes, the one that looks shiny. What's funny? It happened too when I was fought Montiel.
The night before Montiel, we were
Oh,
with Chris
that was
on
horrible.
Paradise at 11 o'clock at night. After he ate his steak, he bit into the Brad, and all of
And
a
it-
sudden he was like cracked
The night
off.
before.
The
Yeah.
night before, yeah.
So
Oh,
he actually
gee.
had to
Yeah,
go to.
I have to have temporary on that
a
fight.
temp-
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't break my teeth though.
I'm just curious. We were all freezing outside. Did you feel the cold at all?
No, I thought it was gonna be affected because that's why we brought that thing. She bought it, the cape and all that stuff. But
I made
you
him
know-
wear it, but he didn't want to.
Yeah. No, but you're right. Richard was wanting to wear it, but honestly, it was difficult because I came in there. There was a thought in my head, and that's why maybe kind of played in my head. That's why I kind of slowed down in the beginning, but it didn't really affect me at all. I wasn't cold in there. When the adrenaline starts kicking, and once I start to warm up, with her and stuff like that. I mean, the mind can play tricks on us a lot of times, and when you start to think about it. When I start to cool down and just refuse to listen to my thoughts, then that's when I started performing.
39 years young.
That's right, baby. More
All
to
right.
come.
Great performance.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.